E.N.D here, day 1 for the spoilers of Tarkir Dragonstorm, the set that will bring back dragons and cons. Feels like House of the Dragon. Anyway, let's start. And I want to start obviously with a dragon card, Draco Genesis 6 and red enchantment. You may cast dragon spells without paying their mana costs. Any spell that lets you cast free spells, it's always a good spell. And once we are talking about dragons, we cannot leave out the king of dragons, Ugin, Eye of the Storms. 7 generic mana, 7 loyalty counters. When you cast the spell, exile up to 1 target permanent that's 1 or more colors. When you cast a colorless spell, exile up to 1 target permanent that's 1 or more colors. +2, you gain 3 life and draw a card. 0, at 3 colorless mana. -11, search your library for any number of colorless non-land cards, exile them, then shuffle. Until end of turn, you may cast those cards without paying their mana cost. I can't imagine someone summoning the 9 Eldrazi cards. More planeswalkers. The set will have 2 planeswalkers, Elspeth Stormslayer, 3 and 2 white, 5 loyalty counters. If 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many of those tokens are created instead. +1, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. 0, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Those creatures gain flying until your next turn. -3, destroy target creature an opponent controls with mana value 3 or greater. Regular version and borderless version. Dragons, beat or kin to all. 2/1 white, 1 black and 1 green. 5/7, flying. At the beginning of your end step, if creatures you control have total toughness 10 or greater, draw a card. Then if creatures you control have total toughness 20 or greater, untap each creature you control. Then if creatures you control have total toughness 40 or greater, each opponent loses half their life, rounded up. Shiko, Paragon of the Way, 2/1 blue, 1 red and 1 white, 4/5, flying. Vigilance, enters the battlefield, exile target non-land card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard, copy it, then you may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. Nerif, Heart of the Storm, 1/1 red, 1 white and 1 black, 4/5 with flying. If a creature you control that enters this turn would deal damage, it deals twice that much damage instead. Ureni, the Song Unending, 5, 1 green, 1 blue and 1 red, 10/10, flying. Protection from white and from black. Enters the battlefield, it deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers your opponents control, where X is the number of lands you control. All Out Assault, 2/1 red, 1 white and 1 black, enchantment. Creatures you control get +1/+1 and have that touch. Enters the battlefield, if it's your main phase, there is an additional combat phase after this phase, followed by an additional main phase. When you next attack this turn, untap each creature you control. And if you want an easy way to cast all these dragons, don't forget there is Mox Jasper. Surely will be the most chased card of this set. Last mythic card, Craterhoof Behemoth. Yes, Craterhoof Behemoth will be reprinted in Tarkir Dragonstorm. 5 and 3 green, 5/5 with haste. Enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain trample and get +X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. United Battlefront, 3 and 1 white, sorcery. Look at the top 7 cards of your library, put up to 2 non-creature, non-land permanent cards with mana value 3 or less from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. Voice of Victory, 1 and 1 white, 1/3, mobilize 2. Mobilize 2 means whenever this creature attacks, create 2 tapped and attacking 1/1 red warrior creature tokens. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. Your opponents can cast spells during your turn. Anafesa, Unyielding Lineage, 2 and 1 white, 2/2, flash first strike. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, and yours too. Marang, River Regent, 4 and 2 blue, 6/7 with Omen. Coil and Catch, 3 and 1 blue. Draw 3 cards, then discard a card. Then shuffle this card into its owner's library. Flying, when this creature enters the battlefield, return up to 2 other target non-land permanents to their owner's hands. Sidisi, Regent of the Mire, 1 and 1 black, 1/3, tap. Sacrifice a creature you control with mana value X other than Sidisi. Return target creature card with mana value X +1 from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. Karsi, Revenant, 1 and 2 black, 3/3, flying that touch lifelink. Renew for 2 and 1 black. Exile this card from your graveyard. Put a flying counter, a death touch counter and a lifelink counter on target creature. Activate only as a sorcery. Narset Jeskai Waymaster, 1 blue, 1 red and 1 white, 3-4. At the beginning of your end step, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw cards equal to the number of spells you've cast this turn. Kotis the Fang Keeper, 1 black, 1 green and 1 blue, 2-1. Indestructible. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, exile the top X cards of their library, where X is the amount of damage dealt. You may cast any number of spells with mana value X or less from among them without paying their mana cost. Frostcleave Siege, 1 blue and 1 red enchantment. Enters the battlefield, choose Jeskai or Temur. Jeskai, whenever 1 or more creatures control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Temur, creatures you control get +1/+0 and have trample and haste. Rediscover the Way, 1 blue, 1 red and 1 white enchantment saga. Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Chapter 3. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell this turn, target creature you control gains double strike until end of turn. Maelstrom of the Spirit Dragon. Land, tap for 1 colorless mana. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast a dragon spell or a gnome spell. 4. Tap, sacrifice this land. Search your library for a dragon card, reveal it and put it into your hand. Then shuffle. Rolling Dragonstorm for 1 and 1 blue enchantment. Enters the battlefield, draw 2 cards and discard a card. When a dragon you control enters the battlefield, return this enchantment to their owner's hand. Ureni Rebuff for 1 and 1 blue sorcery. Return target creature to its owner's hand. Harmonize 5 and 1 blue. Harmonize 5 and 1 blue means you may cast this card from your graveyard for its harmonize cost. You may tap a creature you control to reduce that cost by X, where X is its power. Then exile this spell. Equilibrium Adept, 3 and 1 red, 2-4. Enters the battlefield, exile the top card of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. Flurry, whenever you cast your second spell each turn, this creature gains double strike until end of turn. Rakasha's Bargain, 3 hybrid mana, 2 colorless and 1 black, 2 colorless and 1 green, 2 colorless and 1 blue. Instant, look at the top 4 cards of your library, put 2 of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Commander, don't forget that Tarkir Dragonstorm will come with 5 pre-constructed commander decks. First deck, Abzan Armor. Play defenders, turn toughness into power. Its commanders, Felodar the Steadfast and Beator Ancestor's Voice. Jeskai Striker. Cast extra spells, flurry spells effect. Its commanders, Shiko and Narset Unified and Elsha Threefold Master. Sultai Arisen. Fill the graveyard, return with Zombie Roots. Its commanders, Teval the Balance Scale and Kotis Sip-6 Champion. Mardu Surge. Make attacker tokens, sacrifice them for value. Its commanders, Zurgo Stormrender and Nerif Crackling Vanguard. Fifth and last commander deck, Temur Roar. Ramp mana, summon dragons. Its commanders, Eshki Temur's Roar and Ureni of the Unwritten. Special guest, 2 cycles, the Ultimatum Cycle, the 7 mana Ultimatum Cycle, and Fetchlands. Yes, the 5 anime Fetchlands will be special guests in Tarkir Dragonstorm. Last but not least, full art basic lands, Eye of the Dragon, and you have 1 for each color. So that was the last card in this particular day 1 for the spoilers of Tarkir Dragonstorm. Join me again tomorrow because we're going to cover more spoilers for this return to Tarkir. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more and more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.